Welcome to the Joey No Filter YouTube channel. Please make sure to like and subscribe and follow the handle for Twitter and TikTok. Where do the Clippers go from here? This is a team that has seen some of the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. This is a team that has been on an emotional roller coaster from being the child who slept in the basement to creating some of the greatest highlights known to the NBA, while at the same time being crowned with the name Lob City. They would see tremendous regular season success, having multiple All-Stars during the span, being involved in some of the hardest playoff series we had ever seen, and being part of one of the strongest decades for the Western Conference. Unfortunately, dismantled by injuries, they never did reach their ultimate goal on winning a championship during the Lob City era. Moving on from that roster, they entered into a quick reload while staying competitive, winning between 40 to 48 games during those few seasons. Then came the offseason of 2019, and the Clippers went whale hunting. The Clippers had made their biggest catch yet on the free agency market in franchise history with the signing of Kawhi Leonard, who just came off of a Finals MVP and led a whole country in Canada into their first NBA championship. They then moved heaven and earth to acquire another superstar in Paul George, who just had a career year in Oklahoma. Fans said they were destined for an NBA title under what would become known as the Kawhi era. 6 years later, and the team is officially a dumpster fire. How did this happen, and where do the Clippers go from here? The Los Angeles Clippers currently have a record of 6-19 in the standings on the season. Their roster's performance on the court has been abysmal defensively and offensively. This team has been super dysfunctional on the court, and it's no better off the court. On December 3rd, just a few days ago, while the team was on a road trip, the president of operations, Lawrence Frank, flew to Atlanta, where the team was staying, and sent Chris Paul home in the middle of the night. His reasoning was because Chris Paul clashed with teammates and leadership. They sent home the most valuable player in their franchise's history because he held players accountable and coaches accountable. Chris Paul wanted to do what it took for this team to win, and he tried his best to make it happen until he was sent home by that very team. And now the team's owner, Steve Ballmer, reported by the Los Angeles Times, is being sued by aspiration investors over an alleged scheme to pay Kawhi Leonard under the table, circumventing the NBA salary cap. Well, what does this mean? This means Steve was paying Kawhi a max, following the rules of the NBA, and giving him some underneath the table to keep him there in LA with the Clippers. If this is found true, according to the NBA policy, Kawhi Leonard's contract could possibly be canceled with the Clippers, a hefty fine to Ballmer's way, and a loss of a future first-round pick. Unbelievable. Somehow this team just keeps finding itself in a worse and worse position. Now, Kawhi signed with the Clippers over 6 years ago, and he was coming and he said, listen, I'm not coming unless you have a superstar coming with me. That's when the organization just gave him all the power. They gave up 5 picks and 2 pick swaps, along with, at the time, a prized rookie and a great veteran in Danilo Gallinari. From that point on, Kawhi Leonard has been calling the shots in this organization. And when he decides not to play, he's not playing. He literally gets to choose when he touches that court and when he doesn't. Kawhi has been eligible for 410 games with the Clippers. He's only played in 296 of them, which means he has missed 144 games. It's not like he's playing 40 minutes a game. He's only averaging 33 minutes over the past 5 seasons. To miss 144 games is absolutely unacceptable. That is 30% of his eligibility games gone, not even touching the floor. He has missed a quarter plus of games. Yet this organization has continued to pay him and pay him. This organization has paid him $326 million over his contract span with the Clippers. That is absolutely unbelievable, and it is nobody's fault but the Clippers. They gave Kawhi Leonard this power. They allowed him to have these perks. And now it's biting them in the butt. The Los Angeles Clippers are in a sinking hole. Here by this graphic, you can clearly see Clippers do not own any picks outright until the earliest of 2030. Here's a great graphic created by Max Wasson on Reddit. It is beyond reasonable thinking that the Clippers would do this to themselves and really think, oh, this is our best decision to win a championship right now. Trade everything. I'm sorry, but even when you go all in, you have to have some type of contingency plan, and the Clippers absolutely did not. They said, okay, Kawhi, it's either, hero or bust. And boy, oh boy, did this thing bust. And over the offseason, the Clippers decided to move off of Norman Powell, who was absolutely having an all-star level season for them. I mean, this guy did it all for them. He played great defense. He played great offense. He was a ball handler. He was a shot creator. He gave James Harden a break when James Harden needed a break. And really, Norman Powell was their clutch player last season. I know this because I watched Clippers games intensely last season, and I went to a few of them with my lady. To think that they moved off of this guy who provided so much versatility on their roster, it's extremely disappointing, and this is really because they didn't want to pay him $30 million. When he hits the market this offseason, he's going to get $30 million. Instead, they decide to move off of him and trade him for John Collins, John Collins is a good player, but Norman Powell was on the verge of being an all-star. Matter of fact, he probably is going to be an all-star this upcoming all-star game. Now he's in Miami having a career year, shooting incredibly high in efficiency, playing great defense. I mean, because of him, Miami are going to win an additional 10 to 15 games solely because of what he brings to the table. And yet the Clippers decided to let it go because they refused to pay him $30 million. That only would have been $10 more million than what they were already paying him. Instead, they decided to be cheap and bring in Bradley Beal, and we see how far that's gotten them. The Clippers are in a massive hole, but we can get out of it. First, let's look at the bright spots on the team. Number one, Ivica Zubac. He is on a spectacular deal. He's under contract for 2 more years, topping at $21 million. Let's go ahead, give him an extension. Give him an extension on a team-friendly deal because he is definitely a culture piece that we still need here. Derrick Jones Jr., he's only making $10 million for 1 more year. That is a super easy, movable piece where we can bring in some draft capital, and he's a valuable player. So it should be no problem getting a couple seconds or maybe even a late first for him. Chris Dunn, he's on contract for another year for $6 million. Another movable piece. Let's bring in some low draft capital. I understand it's going to be second round picks, but it's better than nothing, and Lord knows that the Clippers currently have nothing. And Kobe Sanders, he's on a rookie contract. Let's keep him and let's keep developing him. Now, fortunately, James Harden and Kawhi Leonard, they are both on 1 more year deals after the season. By no means we can extend them. And that brings me to our non-negotiables in order to rebuild this team. For non-negotiables to rebuild this team, number one, we are absolutely not trading any draft picks moving forward until the year 2032. The reason I say that is because when 2030 hits, that's when the full rebuild hits. That's when we smack the red button, the restart button. That means 30, 31, and 32 draft, we will be drafting guys and developing them. For right now, number two, we will not be extending James Harden nor Kawhi Leonard under any circumstance. Now, I recognize James Harden is having a great year this year. James Harden is 36. We are not extending anybody who will not be a part of our future team. We need a complete facelift as an organization. Extending them does us nothing good. We will also be relieving the whole entire front office of this organization. Get everybody out of there. Get Trent Redden, who is the general manager, and most importantly, the president of operations, Lawrence Frank. Get them out of here. They need to be banned from LA. Lastly, we need to make amends with our legends. Blake Griffin, Chris Paul, DeAndre Jordan. All these guys left on sour exits with our team. Retiring their jerseys and establishing Lob City era as our first great era, that needs to happen immediately. We're going to win the fans back. We're going to get profit in. That's going to help with everything. And really, it's going to be a big apology to the fan base for what we've been putting them through. That is our goal with the non-negotiables. Now, to the team itself, we need dogs. We need players who are hungry and who want to be on the court, who want to draw in fans, right? We want the fans to be entertained, and we're going to do that by hustling, by rebounding, by playing our hearts out. We need guys who are going to come in and won't try to be flashy. We need guys who are going to do the dirty work. We need a whole bunch of Dylan Brooks on this team. That's what we really need. But no, a great example is the 2018 Clippers. That team managed to win 48 games, and they did not have one superstar on their team. They had people like Pat Bev, Gortat, Tobias Harris. They had guys like that leading the way. That's what this team needs. This team needs to find a new identity, and it needs to be found at practice, and then from practice being put on the court for the nationally televised games. These guys, we need to find players who want to be a part of the Clippers organization. That's what it really comes down to. Guys like Lou Will when he was there. Guys like Montrezl Harrell. That's what this team needs. And unfortunately, that's not going to come with superstars. Now, yes, are we going to lose a lot of games? Absolutely. But if we can be between that 35 to 48 mark of winning games, that's plenty to keep profit up, to keep fans wanting to come to the building. That's what this team needs to do. We need a cultural facelift. And with a team like the 2018 Clippers, we should just model how we built that team. Go into free agency, get cheap deals, and let's just develop. We got to develop guys. All these guys that we're going to bring into this facility, we need to focus on development. Steve Ballmer, you have so much money to pay Kawhi underneath the table. Why don't we reinvest in the staff? Let's have the biggest developmental player staff in the league. You know, Steve, put your money where your mouth is. Put it back into your staff. And with that being said, you know, I really do think the Clippers could be entertaining to watch. But really, we're just trying to buy time until it's 2030 for us to get those picks back. And really, our last goal is to be cap flexible. We cannot have these expensive long-term stars on our roster because then we're going to have no ability to move pieces off. What Oklahoma City Thunder did really well was that they had plenty of cap space so teams could salary dump. And a perfect example is that Al Horford trade that happened from Philly. Philly gave up on Al. Al had a max contract at the time. Philly had to give up a first and a second to get off of him. That's how OKC has stacked up all these picks, by allowing these teams to salary dump on them. We need to copy exactly what the Oklahoma City Thunder did. That would put the Clippers in such a better situation come 2030, because now we'd be loaded with picks. Even if those picks are low draft capital, you can just take shots on guys, and it would be okay if you miss on a few of them, because you have so many picks. That's what the Clippers need to be doing in order to rebuild what this team used to be during the Lob City era. With all that being said, this is your only way out for the Los Angeles Clippers. Yes, it might suck for a few years, but you're going to stock up these draft picks by having a cap flexible team so other teams can salary dump on you. You're going to have a gritty, hard team ready to compete every night that's going to still bring in profit from the fans. Ultimately, this is really the only option the Clippers have. Please, if you listen to this, Steve Ballmer, do not extend the Kawhi era, because you're only going to continue digging this grave deeper and deeper and deeper. This is the only place where the Clippers can go now. Reload this roster with young guys, develop, play hard until we can hit 2030 where we can commit to a full rebuild. Hey, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Definitely continue the conversation going down below in the comment section. I'll see you again on another Joey No Filter video.